21st-Century Denim that is organized in conjunction with our exhibition Denim, Fashion's Frontier, that has been curated by my colleague Emma McClendon, who is here on stage and who will introduce the panel.
Thank you, Tanya. Firstly, thank you to all of you for coming out tonight for our 21st Century Denim panel. As Tanya mentioned, my name is Emma McClendon, and I'm the curator of our denim exhibition just across the way, which I encourage you to see if you haven't already. And of course, thank you to my panelists, Jeff Silberman, Cara Nicholas, and Andrew Olah, for joining me on stage tonight. What we're going to be discussing is the current state of the denim industry and where we're going as we move further into the 21st century. To get us started off, I'd like to have each of our panelists introduce themselves, give you guys a bit of background on themselves, and particularly how long they've been working in the industry. So I'll turn it over to you, Andrew.
I'm Andrew Olah, and I started the business part-time in 1973 and full-time in 1977, and focused my whole life basically since 1980 on Indigo and denim fabrics development and sales, marketing, and trade shows.
Hi, I'm Cara Nicholas, and I work for Cone Denim. I am in charge of product development, marketing, and I also do the museum and archive for our company. And I've been working for Cone Denim for 17 years in June this year. So.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Silberman, and I'm the chairperson of the Textile Development and Marketing Department here at the Fashion Institute of Technology. And in addition, the executive director of the International Forum for Cotton Promotion. And I have been at FIT full-time since about 2001, and with the International Forum for Cotton Promotion since about 2003.
So Jeff, as part of his program here at FIT, runs a capstone course that deals entirely with the development of a denim line. It's fully immersive for the students, and actually all three of our panelists here participate in this program. So Jeff brought with him a wonderful video about this capstone course that I think will give a really great launch pad for our discussion tonight. It's pretty short, it's about 10 minutes, and I'll show it in just a moment. You'll see pretty quickly from the video that it was produced for promotional purposes for the course, but it has a really great overview throughout of many of the different aspects of the denim industry we're going to discuss today, which I think is going to be particularly helpful for those of you in the audience that maybe don't have any experience with the denim industry before tonight or beyond the exhibition.
The students this year created 5 collections of jeans, 1 knit, which is the first for us, and 4 woven products. They did an amazing job. This is really all about experiential education. And if I had to describe this group in one word, I would say they were effective, and they've created for themselves not just the product, but also the process, so they become very valuable to an employer. I enjoyed working with this group immensely.
This project is about students working together with industry professionals, different advisory board members, to understand how the industry works and to go through all the processes, from sourcing yarn to labels to Google websites, and they're going to touch every element of what it takes to make a brand. And I think that's what makes this course well worth providing.
Communication is a big part of this project. It's how well the students work together to resolve their differences. As in real life, you don't always get what you want, and therefore you have to learn how to compromise. You have to learn how to sell your ideas, how to get the rest of the team to see what you see. And it's all in trying to get the fit, the design, and the details of the garment to represent exactly what they're trying to market.
I'm trying to teach these guys wet processing design, some garment costing, the love of indigo, why we bleed blue, and perspective. Definitely perspective towards what it takes to be really good at a job. And even more than that, in denim.
And what this project does is it exposes the students to every single piece of the process.
We are Arzena, and we are professional, eco-friendly,
sophisticated, high quality, reliable,
beautiful.
We'll take out the stress and bring in the zen. We are Arzena.
Well, my heart knows it better than I know myself, so I'm gonna let it do all the talking. Came across a place in the middle of nowhere with a big black horse and a cherry tree. I felt a little fear upon my back. I said, don't look back, just keep on walking.
TDM students graduate with a breadth of experience that is rare and so helpful out in the industry, where you have so much energy being put into developing the latest in technology for fibers and fabric constructions. Then on the other side, I think there's a real need to take that to the retail and brand and consumer level, and it provides them with a tremendous experience.
Line Denim was born by looking at denim a different way. Our jeans were created from a lack in the market of raw, selvage jeans for women. Our jeans transition from day to night, week to week, year to year. Mind your denim.
I'm impressed with the students year after year. Branding this year is not about a mark or a logo. It's about communication, a conversation.
People don't buy what you do, but then they buy why you do it. So it's really important for us to teach the students that they need to talk about why. Why are you making this product? Really understanding what their audience is passionate about will be integral in them tailoring the right message to them.
You're not talking at your consumer, you're interacting with your consumer. So part of this presentation we make is we're giving them all the different tools to market their brand, but to be able to curate content that's relevant to their audience.
Innovation is a huge part of what's going on with tags and labels today, as a way to have two-way communications with their customers.
Yeah, the students are really interested in adding the 2D barcode, which would go to like their website they would create, or how to track your jeans after you buy them.
I've been really impressed with these students. I was really impressed by how organized they've been, how responsive they've been in setting this up, and they just have such brilliant ideas on how to effectuate their designs.
We are Drifters Denim. A drifter is a person who is constantly moving from one place to the next. A drifter is a wanderer, a traveler, and a vagabond.
Our target customer is named Piper, and she's a freelance food journalist and a world explorer. When we began brainstorming about our brand, we knew that we wanted to create a pair of jeans that would suit the adventurous lifestyle of our customer. So we created a high-waisted, distressed pair of jeans using selvage denim. Drifters jeans are for the explorer.
Go out and travel the world.
So this is really quite an impressive project. It's about really integrating critical thinking about marketing and business strategy, along with tough technical decisions about fabrication and production. Cotton Incorporated is pleased to be a part of this denim project because not only can we share a lot of technical information, market research information, but the opportunity for the students to come see Cotton Incorporated and to walk through a cotton farm and experience the fiber firsthand at the farm level.
We are Alt Denim.
short for Alternative Denim. We are a premium women's line made in the USA. Alt Denim's mission is to provide quality denim that is sexy and sophisticated. We developed a slim boyfriend jean with leather accents finished with cotton-incorporated Stay True cotton technology, which will help retain the color of our dark wash denim jean, wash after wash. So whether our customer is running from meeting to meeting or dancing the night away at a concert, Alt Denim jeans will give her the great sexy fit. Our denim is not for the wallflower. It demands the room's attention.
I've never come across another program like this. I think what makes it so innovative and fresh for the students is they have an opportunity to show all the skills they've mastered from a technical perspective, as well as their ability to connect it to the real live marketplace. And most importantly, then they learn how to tell their story and share it all with an audience. That's what the real world's going to bring for them.
Hi everyone, we are Ann Loop and we're excited to introduce to you our new knit denim brand. Our mission is to elevate the athleisure trend by bridging the gap between traditional denim and comfortable knitwear with advanced knitting technology and design innovation. For the first time since project inception, we have partnered with Stoll USA, the pioneer of knitting technology, which really enabled us to learn more about and tap into the unlimited potential of knitwear. Our brand is currently the only all-knit denim brand in the market. We are Ann Loop. We will be the knit denim you can wear again and again.
When we started this project, I was looking for a way that the students could interact with industry, that they could have a real experience. And because we have a terrific advisory board to make sure that we had all the context that we needed, the students embraced it, they jumped on it, and now they have a project that they can really create something and really call their own.
I'm very happy to see that the students are concerned with presenting content, an authentic brand. There's no fear. They're saying it like it is. They want to produce a quality product with a reason, there's a why, and there's a greater understanding for what's needed and what isn't out there yet.
TDM students with the experience they're gaining through this program are the linchpin for the future of our industry.
And we hope every season that the kids will create something that is outstanding and compelling.
Okay, the lights are on. So ultimately what we're talking about in the video, in the panel, is the production of jeans, this one particular type of garment. When I was putting together the exhibition across the street and conducting my research, I came across an organization called the Global Denim Project. It's primarily made up of anthropologists and sociologists, and according to their estimates, on any given day, over half the world's population is in jeans. Now, this is a really staggering statistic and positions jeans, but denim in general, in a very unique position in the fashion industry. And so to sort of start off tonight, I'd love to get each of your take on why you think jeans have such an enduring popularity. Whoever can start.
I'll start. Well, I think it also comes from your own generation. So for people from my generation or Jeff's generation is one perspective. I asked my daughter, who's 36, what was her first memory of jeans, and she said Three's Company. So everybody has their own starting point of where they first have a relationship with jeans, and so it's difficult for me to say, but I think the real reason that jeans are so popular is that they're very utilitarian, and they're very common ground for everybody. So you feel, I think, when you wear your jeans that you're wearing the same skin as others, and you can feel a little bit a relationship to everybody else, although each person has their own particular jean.
I also think that people create a bond with their favorite jeans. You know, oftentimes people, if you ask somebody what's your favorite jean, they can tell you, oh, these because, because of the way they wear and they fit them and they take on the personality of the wearer. So it's about the indigo dye and the cotton and the way that it kind of takes on your own, it's almost like a blank canvas, and then it takes on the personality of the wearer. And it's one of those things, I think, they get better with age, so they sort of, people hold on to them for a long time, and they can tell you, this is my favorite pair of jeans and why, and it's been with them through different events. They can say, oh, well, I got this hole when I was doing this, and I mended it, or I did, it's just, it's unlike any other fabric and garment, so it's really a special thing.
I think I would have to say, because I grew up in the 60s, and that's kind of what everybody wore, including me, including everybody that I knew, and I think it would be harder to give you an example of what else.
Except our parents in those days. Everybody wore jeans except authority.
So, Andrew, I've heard you speak about this before, and I was wondering if you could maybe touch on the push-pull there is in the industry right now between the old and the new in denim. Kind of.
Well, I tell this to the class every year, that fashion is either Jetsons or Flintstones, and depends on your perspective. We all, in fashion in general, get, inspired by the past. I know companies that have built their 10 years of their business just by pulling styles or ideas from the past. So we all do that, and we've always done that. Shopping vintage the vintage business in jeans is so strong that people don't want to sell vintage anymore. They want to rent it because people are running out of it. But at the same time, there's new fibers and there's new ways of doing things, so that's changed everything.
Yeah, I guess just to talk about, I think sometimes the Jetsons and the Flintstones merge together too. You take some of the inspiration from the past, and then you put that together with some of the newer technologies. So, yeah, that's an interesting analogy. Yeah.
I think that if I needed to give one answer, I would say that probably based on different panels that I've been on and had the chance to speak with a lot of people, I'd say that sustainability is probably the biggest change that I've seen coming, and seeing how the industry addressed it years ago, how they're addressing it now, which is totally different.
Absolutely. So the next topic that we'll touch on is sustainability. I mean, sustainability is something that we hear discussed over and over again in fashion, just in general, not just in denim. I mean, in denim, with the sheer size of the industry at the moment, thinking about how every person in the audience probably owns a pair of jeans and how many jeans are being produced each day, I'd love it if you guys could each discuss, issues with sustainability you've come across that are currently very prevalent in the denim industry, and also some ways that the industry is trying to address them right now as we move forward.
Well, it's a pretty monstrous subject because jeans are composed of fiber, so you have all these fiber issues, then you have spinning, which uses energy, and you have weaving, which uses energy. None of it is reusable, or today, really, and then you have dyeing, and then you have the chemical waste, and then you have all the, I'm giving you all the cynical side and the problems, but there's all these different elements that are, and then they're washing jeans, and then packing them and shipping them, and so on and so on. So there's a lot of issues. I think the industry is overwhelmed by the scale of the problems, but one by one, everybody's cluing in on trying to do the best they can at each particular level.
Do you think, and this is for all of you, that denim is more unsustainable than other factions of the fashion industry?
Like what?
I mean, just sort of ready-to-wear clothing in general, fast fashion, the water waste, the things that go into the unique way that denim is produced.
I'm an expert on that.
Exactly.
I could tell you about denim. But
I'll give a quick response to that. Polyester, every single piece of polyester that's ever been made still exists on this planet. So the first question I have is, polyester is what, 60% of total consumption of world fiber? So imagine, even if you recycle it, it just keeps going and going and going and going and going, and it keeps wasting, and it's got nowhere to put it.
I think sustainability is a mindset, though, too, because we talk about sustainability. I think it's something that everyone needs to be mindful of throughout the whole process. I mean, you know, as a mill, you know, we produce globally. So we're producing in the U.S., Mexico, and in China. And we have, you know, the same level of standards for all of our mills globally. But, I mean, it really is, it goes down to every bit that goes into production, you know, recycling, you know, packing materials to the lighting in the mill, you know, using low-cost energy lighting to, you know, reusable totes and things at the mill level. We also, in production at our U.S. facility, we use methane gas pumped in from a local landfill. So that's one of a source of helping to power the plant. So I think that there's a lot of things that when it's a broad topic, sustainability, and I think that we can talk about it in fibers, but also I think in the, you know, the production side of things, you know, just to be mindful of how you're approaching it, of the approach for the mill and for, you know, a garment cutter and, you know, all through the entire the supply chain.
I would say that my co-panelists are being very modest tonight. And I say that because the Textile Development and Marketing Department, really, our portion of the supply chain has to do with sustainability. With natural fibers, we deal with agriculture. With chemical fibers, we deal with chemical companies. With dyeing, we deal with water usage. With finishing, we deal with chemical effluent. And so we're focused on every portion of that. And Andrew has started this group called the Transformers, which talks about reducing water usage, which talks about different sustainability issues. Kara's company, Cone Denim, is working with natural indigo. And so everybody is trying to go at this a certain way. So I don't know if I can say that denim is a dirtier industry than other industries because there's water used and there's waste in every industry, but I would say that maybe it's because I'm closer to this industry, but I see more being done in this industry than I see in other industries.
I was wondering if any of you could talk about, for those in the audience who maybe aren't as familiar with the denim industry and sort of the different processes that go into it, some of the implementations of things like lasers, O3, you know, things we're seeing in finishing treatment. I think finishing is something that the everyday consumer who doesn't really know what's going on, you know, behind the scenes in denim doesn't even necessarily realize is happening.
I'll take this one. All right. Yeah, so I mean, basically, you know, there is a big initiative throughout the denim industry on how do we save water usage and different chemical usage, and there is a lot being done on the garment finishing side. You know, ozone is one thing that Emma mentioned, and that's basically, you know, helping to, you know, cut down the amount of water used in finishing garments. Because, I mean, when you get your pair of jeans, a lot goes into them. So when you buy them and they have all of the different sort of whiskering techniques and sanding and things like that, washing, a lot goes into manufacturing your jeans. So it's not just about, you know, there's many steps, so we won't get into all of that, but yeah, laser technology is another way that you can also get the different types of whiskering and sanding effects on jeans, and that's a really wonderful thing that's come a long way to make it look very natural, and used to be where it was laser technology, you could really pick out something, oh, that's been lasered and it's not very cool looking, but there's been a lot done in laser technology on that side of the business. Is there
No, that's. I think Kara has told you what there is to tell you about the finishing side. The finishing side is generally really filthy process.
Is there any one initiative that you guys have seen in recent years, you know, in terms of sustainability that you see making the biggest impact on denim, you know, that you would point out? I mean, there's a lot, but.
There's a lot. I mean, because you can attack it at so many levels. There's not. Unfortunately, there's no simple answer. So you can't just say, "Oh, this jean is really perfect," you know, from a sustainable point of view. This particular one has this feature. This one has that feature. it's not possible to do that today.
I mean, we've been trying to do a lot with recycling fiber. I mean, we can talk about fibers, or we can, get into that a little bit later. But even, recycled PET materials, the plastic bottles and things like that. We've done a lot at the mill level in trying to, work with either recycling cotton or recycling, like I said, PET materials, and big initiatives against that post-consumer. So
we had a conference that Jeff mentioned last year. We do a conference every year on sustainability in jeans. Last year was water. This year it's on industrial waste. But last year in our conference, somebody from the dye Indigo chemical company, or a company who produces the dye, he gave statistics of the difference between using liquid indigo versus powdered indigo. It was a massive difference in water, and nobody even knows that.
That's fascinating. And I know that it's been sort of mentioned a lot, I think, in recent months and over the last year, the trend of biodegradable, compostable denim. I don't know if any of you have experience with this as a product development, or sort of what your take is on this new crop of products we're seeing.
Well, I think the right person to speak about this would be Kara, because they're using natural dyes, but I'll give a quick plug for the Textile Development and Marketing Laboratories in that we're trying to do exactly that. We're growing fresh indigo, we're composting it, we're fermenting it, we're trying to convert it to liquid indigo, and we're trying to judge shelf lives, and we're trying to explore just exactly that thing.
I was just going to say, on biodegradability, cotton is biodegradable, and a lot of fibers, like for instance Lycra, is not. So I think in the next 10 years, biodegradability is going to be the single largest issue in sustainability versus water and versus energy. Energy is already almost, no one talks about it anymore. So, but biodegradability is huge, and we keep using other fibers that don't biodegrade.
So unless Cara wants to add anything to biodegradability.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So kind of on that note, it's a perfect transition to talking about cotton. Traditionally denim is made entirely out of cotton, but as we sort of alluded to, that's not always the case anymore. So I was wondering, this is particularly geared at Jeff because he's our resident cotton expert. Could you speak a bit about the current role of cotton in the denim industry, kind of how it's evolved over the last few decades?
Yes, I think that you have to also, in addition to talking about the last few decades, you have to talk about the last few years. There was a price spike in cotton in 2010, 2011, where cotton went to about $2.60 a pound, which opened up the door for alternative fibers to come in. But it wasn't just because of a price issue, it was also because some of the other fibers lend other properties to the fabric, softness, more absorbency, things like that, even better stretch. So cotton has always, denim I should say, has always been a cotton stronghold for sure, and it still is, but there are other fibers that are getting involved, and I think there's a place for all of the fibers. I will say, however, that when you're looking at fibers for an industry as vast as denim, you also have to count in production. In other words, if you like this particular fiber, like Tencel or Lyocell or various fibers that are coming into the market, could a fiber like that conceivably produce enough to make an impact in the market? Because it's not just, does the consumer want it, it's can it be produced?
Any other people with cotton thoughts?
I guess we were also talking about sustainability, and there's also different initiatives on the cotton side, and Andrew probably knows a little bit more about that. I can tell you, we're, as a mill, we're offering options to our customers in different type of sustainable cotton initiatives. We joined BCI, which is the Better Cotton Initiative, last year. We've also teamed up with E3 in this year, just at the end of last year, and we've committed to over 1.5 million pounds of cotton with the E3 initiative. And these are all facilities that, they're companies or initiatives to offer sustainable cotton alternatives.
Do you want to add anything about E3?
Well, I'll just say this, that we I consult for E3, but I'll say this, that consumers have the choice, or are going to have the choice, to buy all their cotton sustainably or not. So right now you don't. All your cotton that you've got, 99% of whatever you buy is not grown sustainably, which maybe you want to change, so you can ask your brand to change.
Can you tell the people here who may not be familiar what E3 is exactly?
Well, it's not just E3, but there's the BCI initiative as well. That there's a program that exists by certain cotton initiatives that actually are on a plan, audited plan, to have farmers use less resources. So you cannot grow cotton without using resources, but you can grow cotton using less. Today in America, they grow cotton by planting one seed and GPS it so they know how it goes. They have drip systems that use hardly any water at all compared to what they used to in the old days. Anyway, the issue is not that. The issue is that people monitor year after year that the farmer is doing a better job with continual improvement to the environment. And most cotton, well, almost 99% of the cotton today, nobody's monitoring at all.
I'd like to add to that also that one of the things that makes these initiatives important is that they're not marketing initiatives, they're production initiatives. So they are based at the producer level and all the way through the supply chain, and they are constructed to help create better growing conditions, better product, but it's not just a marketing handle, it's a production system that goes all the way back to the farm.
And I think that's a really important comment, because throughout our whole industry, so many companies are using sustainability as a handle. And people in the industry know it, and the consumers sometimes are tricked by it. But there are other companies that are actually doing something genuinely, intended to use less resources, because that's really what sustainability should be about.
I think I would also like to add that cotton agriculture in general has improved dramatically. As Andrew mentioned, low-till and no-till agriculture, drip irrigation, so that you're not flooding the fields and losing all that water to evaporation, so you're not causing erosion. Generally speaking, all farming, but especially cotton farming, has become more sustainable just because it's more efficient.
So I guess moving on from cotton specifically, because we have multiple times mentioned, how new fibers, new things are coming in, new technology. I'd like to turn to these new fibers, discuss some of the specifics about them, what the different fibers are, what the role, what the performance the industry is looking at these new fibers for, and particularly in the relation to comfort, this buzzword we're hearing a lot, particularly in relation to denim, and also athleisure. These are big words we're hearing a lot in the industry, particularly in relation to jeans and denim.
I'll take this one. Okay. Well, comfort is a word that's being widely used these days, and I think that, if you just think about it, people are active, people are moving, and they need the garments to move with them. But also, the consumer is very tactile, so they want things that are soft and nice to the touch. So, one of the key points that we talk about when we talk about comfort is stretch. Stretch has, been advancing and is something that's important to many customers. It started out obviously in women's wear, but it's permeated through men's wear, and so it's really a key thing that the consumer looks for. Everyone's looking to be comfortable. We started, with different types of advancements where it's a dual core technology, and not to get too technical, but a stretch that was the better performing stretch, that it held its shape, it didn't get baggy knees, so we call that, S jeans. So it's two yarns. One's, for us it's a lycra spandex, and the other component is a polyester yarn, and that they work together to the spandex to give you the stretch and the polyester to maintain the shape. So basically, that's been something that brands have even been talking about to their customers, about the best performing stretches and marketing. And then it moves on from comfort there to, okay, we take it up to another level, power stretch. And then you keep going and, bi stretch. We've been talking about the four-way stretch where it goes in the warp and the weft direction. So really that keeps advancing different new advancements in technology. But I think the word comfort's really interesting, because we've been working a lot with the idea of taking it another step further. So not just stretch, but now how do you bring in some more performance? Is the fabric going to have moisture management technology, or you know, is it going to be added strength, or you know, different to have your jeans last longer, or cooling effect, thermoregulation, and so you know, things that we've been working on more on a different tier of the market, is a more outdoor, you know, market, is now we're looking to, you know, we're looking to bring that into a fashion market as well, that your jeans do something a little bit more for you. So, you know, comfort's certainly a buzzword, and athleisure, and, you know, different types of things. But the one thing I will say, and this is going back to what, you know, we talked about jeans and what's so great about jeans, we always look to maintain the integrity of what makes denim so special. You know, being able to put the indigo dye, something that where it wears, it really feels like denim, you know, because you know, when you're introducing all these technologies into a cotton-based fabric, I mean, it really doesn't seem like it goes along with it, you know, and so there's really some new innovations, ways to do that, and how do you bring that along. But maintaining what makes jeans so special for us is really important, and I think that's something we don't want to lose sight of as we, you know, move forward.
I would also add that this is probably one of the most interesting times for textile technology. There are, as Kara said, there are so many innovations coming out, so many ways to improve comfort, to improve stretch stability, and as either of these two can tell you far better than I can, the basic idea when you're creating jeans is to make them really strong, because you're probably going to do some treatments that are going to weaken them afterward. What I do see will be an interesting, I think, will be at some point jeans will be so far from the cotton jeans that we knew that I think you're going to have a whole group of purists that are going to want just cotton jeans the way people want just selvage jeans and, you know, the pure finished cotton.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Someone told me something this week, that one of the retailers told me this week that they have a cotton jean in their store. Like, it was really peculiar. But because it was cotton, he could use really thick yarn. So by using really thick yarns, it actually looked entirely different than the other jeans in the store. So it was doing really, really well. And he was shocked because it was 100% cotton. I think that says it all.
I mean, it's interesting that you guys bring this issue up. In the weeks since the exhibition, the months since the exhibition is open, I've had a surprising number of journalists, you know, people coming to the exhibition, people interviewing me about the exhibition and asking, the big question they ask at the end is, do you think that jeans have a future? You know, they have this question, you know, as if this phenomenon that we're all going towards activewear, that it's all becoming athleisure, that this 100% cotton jean, as we all kind of envision it in our minds, is slowly becoming obsolete. I personally don't think that it's ever going away. I think there's such a cultural resonance with denim that has so many layers to it that inform on the consumer before they purchase it, that it's not. But, you know, I wonder what your experience in the industry, you know, when you're trying to develop marketing, and, you know, what, do you also have this sense? Do you have people coming to you?
I mean, could pose the question the other way too, is athleisure going away? You know, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's just another way to look at it. Is that a fad? Is that you know, is that here to stay? I don't know the answer to that, but I don't see denim going away. And I you know, for, you know, working for a mill that's been making denim, you know, since, you know, the late 1800s, it's, I still see it going pretty strong, and knowing, you know, working with the designers and knowing the business that we're in right now, I definitely don't see that going away.
No, because I also worry. Yeah, don't worry, it's not going anywhere. But
we are a $50 billion business,
mm-hmm.
$50 billion, and we're growing still in a lot of countries. I think Kara's answer about is athletic. What is it called? Athletic.
Athleisure.
Oh, I would worry more about that. Yeah. Also, when you consider biodegradability.
So no to that futuristic vision of us all wearing yoga pants in 5 to 10 years instead of...
To yoga, sure. I think you should definitely wear yoga pants to yoga. I don't see people working out in their denim really, though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like,
I find that interesting.
there's been a lot of talk about, how do you work out, and I think that, it's okay to change after you do your workout or yoga and then put your jeans back.
But there are brands out there at the moment, or product lines that I've seen, that are trying to they're advertising that you can work out in your jeans if you want to.
But, and I do think that to take that, just look at it like being active, I do think that people, if someone, people are on the go, they're multitasking, they're going, it's like 1,000,000 miles a minute, it's like, it's okay, to feel that you want people to feel they're able to be very active in their jeans. I think there's two different things.
Two different things.
I think one thing that comes to mind about that is there's a figure, and several people have it, and I'm not sure where it originated, but that Americans have, on average, 7 pairs of jeans in their closet. So I think that maybe if the next time we have this panel, if I have to tell you that Americans only have 6 jeans in their closet, maybe we'll see some sort of a trend going, but I don't see it.
Absolutely. So with the next topic, you already brought this up in the last thing that we were talking about, this idea of what a jean looks like, kind of properties of function. The dye is really a kind of first and foremost very primal element. The blue color, how it fades over time, how it reacts with the fiber. This is hugely important. So I just wonder if you guys could speak about, for our audience, some of the current practices that are kind of standard throughout the industry in dyeing, how we get that unique way that the color fades, but then also new things that are happening, the Natural Indigo project.
Okay, so I'll start. Before we start on this, the thing is that indigo is not, what's the word, doesn't go well with cellulosic fiber. So the very first problem with indigo dye is it doesn't want to go on cotton. So that's a big problem. So to put it on the cotton, you have to dye it multiple times, and you have to use tons of water because you oxidize it and it goes down into another dip. So the conventional way of dyeing cotton is basically forcing something that doesn't want to go on, which creates the inside of the yarn is to stay white or be white. And so that's the way indigo works, and that's the beauty of it, and that's the ecological problem.
Okay, yeah, so basically we're trying to get that dye to adhere to the exterior of the cotton, and so one of the things that we just did last year, I think this is an image of indigo yarn that's been dyed with plant-grown indigo. So we've been working with a company based in Tennessee, and they've been gathering together farmers and getting them to plant some natural indigo. And so we're really excited. We started this out. We just released it in August of last year, some fabrics that were made with some plant-based, bio-based dyes grown in Tennessee, and they're dyed at our mill in North Carolina. And yeah, it's been a nice initiative for us, and we're looking to see where we can go with it. We've committed to the full crops that the farmers can grow, and the idea is to have it in a scalable production level. So really be able to grow this business and give another crop for the farmers to be able to grow. So we don't know that where it's going to go. I mean, of course there are some challenges for availability and for price, but ultimately we're behind this, and we're looking to see where it can go. This jacket is actually made with the natural indigo grown at our mill in North Carolina. And I know, Jeff, you know a lot about.
Well, one thing I was hoping Cara could could elaborate on is, for those in the audience who might not be familiar with it, can you just touch on the fact that most indigo that's used in the industry isn't actually from the indigo plant anymore?
Right. Okay. So yes, the indigo primarily used is a synthetic dye. So it is not a natural. You want to talk about that?
I just want to say one thing. 95% or 96% of all indigo comes from China. And the PGN salt that's used to insert it, 100% comes from China, by the way.
So yes, and it is a synthetic dye. So this initiative has been very exciting for us. I mean, this has been going on for 6 years, trying to get the right plants to grow in the conditions for the farmers in the South. So it's been a good thing for us, and yeah.
Well, FIT's initiative with Natural Indigo started with 3 students about 3 years ago when they won the Clinton Global Initiative called Think Big Challenge, and we put 2 dye gardens on the roof of the Feldman Center. And we quickly realized that in 2 box gardens that are roughly, I don't know, about 10 feet by 10 feet, growing 24 varieties of plants, you really can't get enough plant material to do repeatable or significant research. So we decided to expand the grow area to northern Westchester, where we're growing roughly half an acre of Japanese indigo, which I think is what you're using as well.
We do Japanese and then another variety as well that we give the farmers.
And so we have our own, we've applied for grants, and we're also working with Sarah Bullis of Stony Creek Colors, who supplies the indigo to Cone Denim. So we don't know where it's going either, but we're having a lot of fun trying to find out where it's going.
And there's some brands out there now with our fabrics. So we just released them at the Kingpins trade show in July, and sampling started in August of last year. And we've had some brands come out to market with it. Tellison, a San Francisco-based brand, 3x1 in New York. You can get a pair of custom-made jeans using the natural indigo. And Heddles just came out with a new collaboration using a bank bag using the natural indigo. So it's good for us.
Great. So I've been given a lot of questions from the audience, so I think I'm going to launch into those. The first one is actually a question I was going to ask you anyway, so it's a good transition. Particularly because you guys all participate in this capstone course here at FIT. The question is, do you have any advice for an aspiring denim designer? What's the big kind of takeaway you would want to have a student here?
I'd say to be very inquisitive, to be interested in all aspects of the business, to put your heart and soul into it, because those are also ingredients that are important to if you're looking to make your own brand or start something new. It's a great business to get into. I mean, denim is like no other, and you can see that Andrew and I have been doing this for a long time with denim. So, but yeah, and I think that use all the skills that you learn here in problem solving and in class and working with your team and things like that. I don't know if I'm going off topic, but basically get really interested in all different aspects of it, like what goes into making, finishing a garment, and, into the fabrics, and just get really nerdy and geeky on things. And there's a lot of people out there that, are really interested and passionate about denim, so there's so much information. Some of it may, you need to research a little further. Don't take everyone's word for it online. But yeah, I think that it's just something that you'll find that there's a lot of denim heads out there, denim, people that are really passionate about it. And so it's fun to get teamed up with some people that are knowledgeable and know about those things too.
Yeah, that's great. Anything else to add?
The video that you saw was from a course that we're running right now, which is the 12th year straight in a row. And what it does is it creates emerging professionals, and it makes the students responsible, understand each step of the supply chain. Most importantly, we could not do it without industry, and especially these people who are right